Happy Tuesday, coffee chat. Hope everyone is doing well. A little bit change of scenery here. You can see I am in a hotel room. I've got a space chair behind me. That was exciting when I walked into the room. I'm like, is that a space chair? I think it is. I haven't actually tried sitting down in it. It looks really intimidating. It looks like one of the chair, like the captain's chair from Star Trek, like the big captain's chair. I feel like it's too much chair for me. Good morning. Yes, I am the captain. I should have probably scooted that chair over and been sitting in that chair when I started. Instead, I've got this weird, just regular, normal, basic chair. Good morning, guys. Good morning. I know the chair has blinders. That's true. I think that's why it's scary to me, because I can't actually see who's if there was somebody coming at me, which there isn't because I'm the only one here. It would, I wouldn't know. It's a little terrifying. All right, well, let me get over to YouTube. I have really, really bad internet here. It's a whole thing. But let me see if I can get us over and somehow get us switched over. Of course, now it's working. It's yeah, okay, I'll cooperate for you. Thank you, internet. All right, let me see if I can get this working. We're gonna do subscribers only for 1 year. So what that means is if you're over on YouTube, you are going to have to be subscribed for a year in order to comment. But you can still watch. You just can't comment. That is all. All right, so I don't see any notes from Christina yet, but that's okay because I can wing it. Right? We got this. All right, so I hope everybody had a wonderful week. Let's check how many members we have now. It's usually how we kick these off. Of course, from my computer, it just gives me it rounds up. It rounds up. So let's see where we're rounded up to. I think we're probably still at 27,400. That's where we've been. It just says 27,000. So we're still rounding up to 27,000, but that's a great number. That's exciting. So we're at 27,000 members on Niknax, and we are still at 3,400 sellers. I haven't done any approvals this past weekend. I should have planned my trip a little bit better because I have been on very sketchy Wi-Fi. Hey, Sandy. I should have probably planned better. But hey, thank you, Sandy, for loaning me your hotspot last night so I could upload a video on YouTube. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't have happened. So everybody thank Sandy for that. All right, so over on Mainly Made, let's see what's happening. We have 1,700 members on Mainly Made. Oh, Adored Vintage Shop, thank you for the raid. I hope you had a great sale this morning. I know you love your morning sale, they're sales, but they're also digging, right? That's what makes them so fun. So we have 335 sellers on Mainly Made. Oh, now I have notes. Wonderful. I was winging it, Christina. I was doing a good job too. I don't know if you were here to notice that I was winging it and I was doing a good job. So we have over 382 new members since last week. You're so proud. Thank you. We have 382 new members since last Tuesday. That's very exciting. We continue to grow. And, we always appreciate you guys sharing the reels and putting stuff out there. If you see a really a funny reel that makes you laugh, Brendan and Katie have been sharing reels out there. I make them from time to time over on the Niknax page. It's kind of a team effort. But if you guys see something that makes you laugh, that makes you chuckle, feel free to share it. Getting the word of Niknax out there. We'll continue to grow, which is very exciting. Now we have over 80 1,000 listings on Niknax. Wowzers. So that being said, if you are a live seller, we all know live selling is the trend right now, but a lot of people are not comfortable going live. They're nervous about having their first sale. And it always helps our buy it now sellers. If you are a live seller, shout out our buy it now sellers. Remind those that are in your live sale to go and check out the homepage. Like, hey, I saw this really cool such and such on the homepage this morning. And if you're into that, you should totally go and check it out. And I know a lot of our live sellers are doing that. And I think that's so awesome. But just remember, we're a community, we're helping each other, we're building each other up. And that's what Niknax is all about. So I think that's wonderful. And I appreciate all of you who are continuing to do that. And I would encourage anyone, I know it's hard to remember sometimes. I know sometimes I forget. But I think, yes, live sellers have been doing an amazing job. And it always it tickles my heart when I hear that. And a lot of the times I'm not necessarily in your sale, but I do creep in the back end. And not to be like creepy, not to like see like, oh, are they doing something we're not supposed to? The reason I do that is because you guys know I come into the sales and a lot of the time it's like, oh, Jocelyn's here, and it's like a big thing. And I don't like to interrupt sales. So a lot of the times, I'll just pop in, and see how everyone's doing, and just watch from the back end just to make sure everyone's, everything's going smoothly and stuff, and that sort of thing. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm just like creeping. I mean, it is kind of creeping, but not in a bad way. So I love seeing that, especially on first time sales. A lot of the time, like I'll usually pop in on the front end, but occasionally like later on in the sale, I'll pop back in on the back end. And I do love, seeing people just come in and say, congratulations on your first sale. And I do see a lot of people doing that. And I think it's amazing. So it looks like we have over 2,700 listings on Mainly Made, and it continues to grow. Thank you everybody for continuing to help grow Mainly Made, which is our sister marketplace for all things handmade. Every Thursday is Thursday Art Therapy Thursdays. It's such a mouthful. Art Therapy Thursdays. And our artists get together and do lots of crafting, and it's just a really fun time. So if your Thursdays are free and you just want to pop over there and show them some support, did I see that this week it was like a back and forth? Were we doing a back and forth? I think maybe. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Thank you everybody for coming in. I appreciate everyone who comes into the coffee chats and is here for the information. And also if you watch it after the fact. So the link for Handmade is district.net/mainly made. It's a mouthful, but that'll get you there. district.net/mainly made. And that'll help you find our handmade marketplace. And we have some really fantastic artists over there. And quite a few of them also sell in Niknax. So it's a fantastic effort. So those are our stats for the week. So fantastic to see that growth. And we continue to grow as a community. Now, Christina put this in there. There will be time for questions at the end. So don't feel like I'm ignoring your question. If you have a question, I will try to get to questions at the end. It's not that I'm ignoring your question. I just have a tendency to get distracted really easily. And if you guys have watched my coffee chats before, you know that. So I will probably wait to answer questions till the end. Otherwise, we'll never get through this. So hold your questions to the end, and Mary's in here to also help answer questions. So if she sees you and ask a question and she knows the answer, I see Mary, Christina is in here, and we'll get your questions answered as best we can. Okay. All right. So let's see. If you have a question, this is a good idea, Christina. Put an emoji at the beginning of your question so that we can see it better. I like that idea. That helps us like distinguish questions. Okay. Amazing. Yes. Shout outs that support all types of sellers on the marketplace. See, I didn't even read that note, and I knew that's where we were going with this because I feel the same. See, Christina and I are on the same page. We're both feeling the same way about that. That's awesome. I know, right? Like we're there. We're both feeling it. Okay, so coffee chat rules. I don't know this one. Is this what we talked about a little bit about, like chats? Oh, okay. I know what we're talking. Okay, I know. Listen, I just went downstairs to find coffee. It's like, like this is my first cup, and look, it's like full. I'm very not with it. I was gonna go find a coffee. Oh, now I'm getting off track. I was gonna go find a coffee shop, and then I lost, that time blindness. I lost track of time, and it was like 10 minutes to the coffee chat, and I was like, I really hope they have coffee downstairs. And they did. And fortunately, look what I travel with. Is this this is bad, right? This is a problem. But I travel with my creamer. So I at least had this. So it's hotel coffee, but it's okay because we have Chobani creamer with us. I'm in Geneva, New York. I'm on the lake. But the lake view costs like $50 more. And so I'm looking at the city right now. I don't need $50 more to look at a lake. I've seen lots of them, Okay, back on track. What were we talking about? Okay. Coffee chats. Okay. Oh yeah. All right. So we've been getting a lot of questions since last week. It was last week, right? Yeah, last week. Since we announced our new chat rule. So I kind of went over the new chat rule last week, and there were a number of reasons why we're not going to be having chat shows on Niknax here in Geneva, Switzerland. That's a little bit far from here. So the reason we're not going to be having chat shows is for a couple of reasons. First of all, Niknax is very big. We're very big. We have 27,000 members. We have 3,400 sellers and over 850 applications pending. One thing I've noticed about chat shows, specifically, if somebody who is a big seller goes on and decides, you know what, I'm not going to sell anything. I'm just going to get here and I'm going to talk a lot. One thing that does is, it pulls people in, which is great. They just feel like chit-chatting and they're going to bring a bunch of people in. But what it does is it creates like this vacuum and it pulls everybody in, and it takes away from people who are trying to have a sale, who are trying to support their family. And I've seen that happen over on Whatnot. And so that was, one of the reasons that we decided not to do chat specific shows, like shows where you're just chatting and you are not selling a darn thing. So that was, one of the reasons. And the second reason is because one thing I've noticed, and this is the case for all chat shows, there are some very informative, very positive, very good chat shows on Whatnot. I'm not knocking all the chat shows, but the problem is that they come both ways. You can't say, oh, we're going to let some chat shows and disallow others. Like what I found is you have to have a rule. Because you can't, it's not fair for us to say, oh, we'll let you do one, but you can't. So we just had to say, okay, we can't allow this, even though there's some really great, chat shows out there. And then, other ones are just so negative and so, putting out bad information and stuff like that. So, that's one of the things I saw on Whatnot is just some are so negative. One thing that Christina always says, and I love this, is, if you're going to say something negative, you're going to say, oh, it's really annoying that Niknax has too many tags. If you're going to say that, have a solution for that. Say, okay, but one thing they could do is, they could maybe update the tags and combine, tags that are similar. That's one solution to that. So if you put out something negative, you could provide a solution to that, and that's one way that you could, switch and not have negative. But one thing I've noticed is that there are a lot of negative chat shows out there, and I didn't want to see that becoming an issue on Niknax. And so that was another reason why, I just felt like it wasn't positive. Yeah, positive videos only, videos that are encouraging our sellers. Like, oh, you know what? Let's get together. Let's have a chat show. Let's encourage everybody to list 5 items a day. Let's do this. I mean, that is something I would love to see. But like I said, we couldn't have both. We couldn't have both. And so that's, the other reason why we decided, this maybe, and then, information that isn't correct. If you're receiving information, I want you to be receiving it from somebody who represents Niknax, who is an employee of my business, CLL Media. Somebody who is an employee. So, Mary, Christina, obviously me, the owner of the marketplace. I think that's where the information needs to come from. And also, so all of that being said, we did put this rule in place last week, but there's been a lot of people who are concerned. Can I even talk in my sale? Yes, we want you to talk. We want you to build relationships with your buyers. I mean, that is what this is all about. We want you to build relationships and community. We don't want you to be afraid to chat during your shows. Get on there and you're selling, I've got this bottle of water. I remember when I was a kid and I used to drink water all the time. Don't be afraid to talk about when you were a kid drinking water. The thing that we don't want is we don't want people, giving reselling it water. Andrew hates water. Isn't that weird? We don't want people giving, not bad information, but we don't want people giving the wrong information about out of the hose. Right? Now you can't do that because you'll get salmonella and stuff. But we want you to be engaging with people. We just want, we don't want people specifically going on to chat about reselling. We don't want you going on to be I'm going to have a show about reselling. All about reselling. And then I'm gonna, say, oh, well, you can take a box out of your neighbor's trash, that looks like it's been crushed, and you can use that to ship your glass, and you don't have to put any paper in there, and it'll be fine. Because somebody could say that in a chat show, and we have no way of saying, you can't do that. Unless we have a rule that says we can't have chat shows. So, there's no way for us to monitor who's having a chat show and who's giving advice unless we say only employees of Niknax can do chat shows, or moderators or admins. So I hope you guys understand that's the whole purpose. But if you want to get on there and you want to have a chat show about art, we did leave an exception for art. If you want to get out there and you want to have a chat show, I think Amanda wants to do trivia, a trivia show, and do trivia and sell some stuff. That's perfectly fine. She's not talking about reselling. She's not talking about Niknax policies. She's not doing anything like that. She's going to have a fun trivia game, and I'm okay with that. It's just when it comes down to policies and shipping etiquette and those types of things, I feel that should be left to the representatives of Niknax. So I hope that clears things up. I don't want anyone to feel like they can't talk on their shows. And when I first started hearing that, I was like, wait, what? I don't want anyone to feel that way. So hopefully you guys have some clarity on that. And now yeah, talk away. Talk about drinking water from the hose. Okay. So, everybody good? Everybody good? And if you have any more questions about that, when I get to the end, feel free to ask your questions, and hopefully I can give you some answers on that. Another thing that I feel needs some clarity, because Sandy brought it up to me when we were hanging out this weekend, is having sales during trains. Hey, did you hear I just mentioned you? Caw. Did you hear? I didn't say caw, but I mentioned your name, and it's kind of the same. You felt it. You felt it. You felt it. I was talking about your trivia show that you were talking about and how amazing it's going to be. Aw. So the other thing is having shows during trains. I don't want people feeling like they can't have shows during trains, because you can. You can have shows during any train. even Niknax sponsored trains. And I feel like people are a little confused about that whole thing. One of the things like that we're just trying to at this, I mean, and here's the thing is Niknax is growing really fast. It's growing faster than I ever anticipated. And we're growing really fast. And obviously we're going to have to figure out things as we go. I've never done this before and I'm figuring it out as I go. But one of our guidelines right now is that while we're having a Niknax sponsored train, there are no trains running simultaneously to that. No trains running, but you are perfectly welcome to have a sale while a train is running. Whether that's a Niknax train, whether that's a marketplace train, like you go for it. You don't have to feel like you can't have a sale. So you go for it. I mean, the reason we did that is because we felt like the Niknax trains are special. You know, we wanted them to be special. You know, we wanted them to be like kind of like a special thing for the marketplace. You know, that was always our intent. And so we didn't want any trains running at the same time. I kind of feel like eventually that's going to change. As we continue to grow, that's going to change. But that's why we only have them twice a month. That leaves the rest of the month open, except for Thursdays, with the exception of an occasional Niknax train. We don't have trains on Thursdays. That is the day that we leave open. For anyone to go live, you know, we don't have trains on Thursdays. A lot of people don't like to go live during trains. And I'll tell you, you are more than welcome to go live during trains. It does not, I look at the numbers. I've told you guys this before. My phone is constantly, the notifications are constantly popping off. And I don't really see a difference whether somebody's in a train or selling outside of a train because everybody's selling stuff. Yes, what Mary's saying. So say somebody is like, for instance, when we were having our Fenton train, our Niknax sponsored Fenton train, if you were to go on at the same exact time having a Fenton themed sale, that's bad etiquette. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you were to go on and just have a glass train and you were to sell a few pieces of Fenton, okay, you know, but if you were to like say Fenton sale on your thumbnail and then like have a Fenton sale while we're running a Fenton Niknax train, or, you know, what if I booked it first? I don't think that's possible because we have our sales booked out till the end of the year. So I don't think that's a possibility unless you book into next year, which is very, very ambitious. That's crazy. But hey, I admire that. So I mean, that's kind of like, I want people to know that it's, you know, the rules are in place for a reason. You know, Christina and I were talking yesterday, you know, I heard recently that Niknax has a lot of rules, like it's a bad thing. But one thing that she brought up, and, you know, it just like, it made sense to me is, you know, as a teacher, you know, working in a district that serves multiple counties, there are a lot of resources in that county. You know, they have lots of resources because they are a big district. Yeah, you know, and so they have to have all of these resources. And nobody says you have too many resources for the people in your district. You know, that's just how it is. And we have to have all of these resources and we have to have these guidelines because we're so big. And obviously we're just kind of figuring it out as we go and things are going to adjust. I almost always come to you guys and I say, okay, do you guys like this idea? Do you guys like this idea? Is this a good idea? You know, for instance, we were talking about like some sort of like loyalty where you get like different perks and you guys were like, we don't like that. And I was like, okay, you know, so I like to come to you guys to get ideas and kind of feel you guys out and feel my community out because I do feel like we're all kind of working together to build this. And that's really important to me. So yeah, so that's where we are at with coffee chats, just generalized chats on the marketplace, and also trains during Niknax trains or trains in general. Don't feel discouraged to run a train. No jewelry trains on Wednesday evening. I don't know. That's a Sandy question. That would be a Sandy question. No jewelry trains on Wednesday evenings. I don't know. Yeah, Sandy, how would you feel about people selling jewelry during the jewelry train? I feel like maybe not. But I did say something to Sandy. She says it's up to you. But I did say something to Sandy about possibly starting another jewelry train during the week. I mean, because jewelry is really popular on Niknax right now. You know, so why not? I mean, but then again, you know, that kind of like limits, because are we running jewelry trains and jewelry shows at the same time? You know, we're becoming so big that maybe that rule is becoming, I don't know. I mean, that leads to, like I said, are we outgrowing this rule? Because rules are going to be outgrown as we continue to grow. And so this is in the back of my mind. So yeah, we'll revisit and announce it in the chat channel. Of course, yes, I have to be flexible. I mean, we're learning as we go all together. Promoting other marketplaces. Promoting other marketplaces is not allowed. It is not allowed. That includes promoting other marketplaces from other marketplaces. That's just district policy. So if you are on another marketplace, you can't be promoting other marketplaces. You also can't be looking for words. I'm searching for words. You can't be putting down other marketplaces from other marketplaces. Basically, okay, so the way district is designed is that district is set up to act like Shopify. I mean, that is the way that district is meant to work. So like people create their own Shopify store. Niknax is my Shopify store. It's my Shopify store. And I've built Niknax, and it serves as a marketplace. It's a marketplace, but it's a Shopify store. And so this is my Shopify store, and there's a Shopify store over here. And it's not like, it's compartmentalized. And it's not fair for one Shopify store to be discussing other stores. Does that make sense? Maybe not. I mean, it made sense in my head, but then I said it out loud. I was like, this doesn't really make sense. But that's kind of how it's supposed to be set up. Yeah. I mean, that's supposed to be how they're supposed to like operate independently. They're supposed to be operating independently. So there shouldn't be like discussing other marketplaces, because everyone is supposed to be independent, like they're independent of each other, and so there shouldn't really be discussing other places. Kudos and reminders. I didn't know you can. I'm not sure what you meant. So like if you just like mention, like, I mean, I mentioned Whatnot and I mentioned eBay. The whole thing is like, you don't mention like selling on the other place. You don't say like, oh, I've got this. I'll bring back the bottle of water. I've got this bottle of water listed over on Whatnot right now for $10 if anyone wants to go buy it. We don't do that, you know. Or I've got this bottle of water listed over on that other marketplace if you guys want to go check it out. Things like that, you know. Or we don't say, oh, that other marketplace, blah blah blah. Like, you don't put down other marketplaces either. Oh, and no cross posting. That is another rule. Yeah, I don't know if you guys knew that. There's no cross posting. And again, that comes back to the idea that each marketplace is its own like compartmentalized store. So there's no cross posting. There's no cross posting. I know. Everybody wants the water now. I might have to list it after this is done. I'll list it. I'll list it in the bio now. I'll fill it to the top and I'll shut the lid and I'll list it for you guys. Now I forgot what I was saying. This is why I have to stay focused. What was I saying? I got distracted by the water. Oh yeah, no cross-posting. Yeah, so the way it works is if you have a listing, and I've showed you guys this before, my setup is you are literally balanced on my camera right now. You are on the teeter, if you go one way or the other, you're falling down. So I can't adjust you anyway or the other. But the way it works is if you have a listing on one marketplace, you have to go into the listing and switch it over to another marketplace that you're active in, where you are a seller. So you have to swap over to the listing. You can't take that same listing and duplicate it in another marketplace, because then if you sell it on one marketplace, then you're out of luck. You know what I'm saying? You sold it one place and then you're out of luck, and then it creates a big headache for district support because you sold it one place. So what you have to do is you have to toggle it between the marketplaces. And then you have to retag it with all of our annoying tags. Yes. Yep. Yep. You do. You have to retag it, and you have to retag it with, or you don't have to retag it, but it won't be found. Okay, next. We're noticing more and more listings on Niknax and Mainly Made, which has been amazing. Yeah, I mean, I think last week we were at 70,000 and now we're at 80,000. I mean, and that's fantastic. That means as we're continuing to add new sellers, I just saw your text. They're continuing to put up listings, and that is fantastic. But like I was just saying, what's very important is to add tags. If you are not adding tags, your items are not being found. I brought this up last week. I'm telling you again, if you're not adding tags, they're not being found. The tags are in alphabetical order. And yes, I realize that they need to be updated, but we have lots of tags. And I continue to get suggestions for new tags. But part of the reason that I have not made any adjustments with the tags is because I would like to redo all of the tags. And I can't do it myself. I have to reach out to Sienna or Ivan or somebody at District to redo the whole tagging system. They have to do it. I can't do it. I can't go in and fix the tags. I can't rename them. I can't delete them. I can't do anything with tags. Once I've created a tag, it's there. That's it. So I'm waiting for them to update the system so that I can go in and do it myself, because Sienna's time is very valuable. Her time is very valuable, and I feel like having her do this tagging project and fixing our tags is not a valuable use of her time. And so I'm kind of just waiting for my ability to do it myself. I mean, she's running multiple marketplaces. She's not just Niknax. She runs all of the marketplaces within our collectibles, antiques niche. She does all of them. Do tags come off of it? So when you switch between marketplaces, like if you were to take one of your listings from Niknax and put it over into Mainly Made, you lose all your tags. And then if you move it from Mainly Made back to Niknax, you lose all your tags again. So once you're moving them into and switching them between, you're losing all of your tags. So you have to retag your items every time you move them between marketplaces. Another thing is when you are doing live sales, make sure you are tagging your items, because they also show up on the homepage. So live sale items, I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of not tagging them because I'm like, oh, it's in a live sale. But it can still show up on the homepage. People can see that it's coming up in a live sale. It says coming soon or starting soon. So people can see, and they can pre-bid from the homepage. So they can see it from the homepage, and they can bid on it. Pre-bid. So you want to be tagging your live sale items if you're preloading. Okay. I mean, if you're just listing on the fly and you're going to sell it instantly, don't worry about tagging it. But if you're going to preload it for a sale in a week, I would say tag it, because then you can have a better opportunity for pre-bids. Okay. All right. So let me keep going. It's Q4. Is everybody ready? This is exciting. I'm very excited. Yes, it's all in the guidelines. Does anyone read the guidelines? I wrote all the guidelines and I'm like, is anyone going to read these? Yeah, they're there. Oh, you did. Okay, that makes me feel better, because I'm like, am I just like wasting my time writing these? That makes me feel better. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, there you go. Thank you, guys. That makes me feel really good, actually, because I'm like, I'm like, oh, nobody's going to read these. Teachers do. There you go. I feel like a lot of the guidelines are common sense, but if they're not out there for people, like, you can't be like, oh, you did something bad, unless they're in writing. You know what I mean? So that's why I have to write them down. Yes, you do have to apply to be mainly made, but if you put in your application that you're a member of Niknax, it's just like a quick look up on Niknax and then you get approved. Oh, I have to finish. Sorry, I'm already on to questions. Okay, focus. We're going to have time. We're going to have time for questions. Don't worry. Okay, it's glass month. Yay. Okay, so check the event calendar for fun glass themes that you can bring to your own lives. Okay, so we're not doing trains on these days. I want you to be aware that we are not doing trains on these days, but we are doing themed days. Okay, we're doing themed days. So what I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, how am I going to do this? But I have an idea. So what I think we're going to do is maybe like do a standard thumbnail for anyone who wants to participate in this theme of the day. On September 23rd, we're going to do glass animals. Glass animals. So that means like glass critters. You want to bring glass critters to your sale, you know, Fenton figurines, rainbow glass figurines, Murano figurines, all of the glass figures. September 24th, we're going to do art glass. It's not a train. It's not a train. We're just going to like open up the theme for the whole day. It's just going to be a whole day theme. We're going to see how it works. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it works. Yeah, I'm thinking it should work in theory. And so, I mean, you don't have to have a whole sale dedicated to just this, but I mean, try to sprinkle them into your lives and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I would honestly, I would suggest preloading. I would suggest preloading if you're going to partake in these themes. So that way, if there's 2 sales happening at once, a buyer could potentially go into your sale, see what you have listed, enter their pre-bids, and then they can go in and out. You know, they could be like, oh, I'm going to put pre-bids on this sale, and then I'm going to go to this sale, and then I'm going to bounce back and forth. You know, so that's a suggestion if you're going to be participating in these events, is to make sure that you have your items preloaded so that people can put pre-bids on them. September 24th is art glass, so hand blown glass. Can a buyer? Oh, gorgeous. I'll let Mary grab that one. September 25th is glow glass. Glow glass is September 25th. That's going to be awesome. Glowy glass. September 26th is going to be mid-century modern glass. So it's not mid-century glass. There's a difference between mid-century glass and mid-century modern. They are 2 different things. I feel like they get confused a lot. People are like, oh, this was made in the mid-century. But mid-century modern has a very distinct aesthetic, and it is different than just mid-century. So if you're confused, just Google some mid-century modern, and you can kind of get an idea for the style and then go for that. So that will be September 26th. September 26th. That's my brother's birthday. September 13th is Fast Friday Freight Train. Obviously, it's going to be a glass theme. So make sure that you check the Gazette for sign up info. This is September 13th. Isn't that like in 3 days? I hope that's the right date. Yeah, so in 3 days, it's a glass theme, Fast Friday Freight. And we're going to put the sign up info in the Gazette so you can find the info there. So go look there. That is a chat channel on the side of the screen. You can find it there. The 28th and the 29th is our Niknax sponsored event. It is a glass train and it is called the Glass Act. It is full. That doesn't mean that we won't consider adding another day, but it is currently full. So we want to remind everyone that there is a link view. There's an event waiting list. Okay, so there is an event waiting list for the glass event. And if you want to be added, you have to email Christina if you weren't able to get on the train. So you have to email Christina to get on the wait list. I think I mentioned in last week, we've had people messing with our signups. And so we've kind of had to lock them down. So if you want to get on the wait list, you have to email Christina. And her email is community@niknax.net. Don't send her a direct message. I've told her not to respond to direct messages that have nothing to do with trains. I've told her not, don't respond to messages that have to do with trains because people need to email you. Oh, did I not put coffee in the buy now? Marie & Co. is featured in our Buy It Now this morning because they are our featured seller of the week. So if you're scrolling through the Buy It Now and you find anything, you will be supporting our weekly featured seller. All right, let's see, what else do we have? Do I not have any coffee this? I did forget to add marshmallow. It's been a busy week. I'm not here on vacation at this point. I'm stuck here. I don't really want to be in this hotel room, but I can't leave because I don't have a car. You're going to DM her pictures of trains all day. All right. So coming up this month, we have a Shake It Up September train on September 19th. And that is 30-minute time slots. And that one is full. Handmade Market is September 27th. And signups are in the train chat channel on Mainly Made. So my car should be done by late this afternoon. In theory, hopefully. I'm waiting for a call. Handmade Market, those signups go live in Mainly Made. All right. So we're kicking off the Create Out of the Box during the Meet Your Maker train on September 27th. And if you guys did not hear what we're doing, we're basically building mystery boxes. We're going to build a bunch of mystery boxes with craft supplies. So all of the supplies are going to be different in all of the boxes. And you have an opportunity to purchase the box blindly. You just get a box. It's going to have a prompt in the box of what you have to make. And we're going to send them out. And then we're going to have a train. And you have to make what's in the box in a certain time period. Like just using what's in the box live. It's going to be live. It's going to be live crafting. So it's going to be like a live sale. But we thought it would be really fun to do. So it's going to be interesting. So from the time you purchase the box to the time we do the sale, it's going to be 1 month. So it'll be October 25th will be the train for that. So on September 27th, it will be when you can purchase the boxes. And I think we're going to do 10 boxes. And it's going to be between me and Christina selling the boxes. And so there's going to be like a mix between the two of us of what's in the boxes. So that's going to be September 27th. And then the actual event, the sellers buy the boxes. And then when you're crafting, you can put your stuff in the Buy It Now. Like you can have your stuff in the buy it, loaded in the buy it now. You can even like, if you want to like take a break from crafting whatever you're supposed to, you can actually like show some of your items. But we're going to keep the cost like of the supplies. So October 25th will be the day to create. Oh yeah. So 25th is when we're going to actually do that event, which I think will be super fun. The upcoming events, obviously you can go to the event calendar. I'm not going to move you guys because you will fall. Like I said, you're basically propped up on my camera. Christina's note reminder that she always gives me is be kind, it's free, and makes a difference. All right, now we have time for questions. We have 15 minutes for questions. I'm thinking we're going to do an hour. I'm thinking it's going to be an hour. You know, a great barbecue place. Well, I think I'm probably going to end up getting dinner here at the hotel. Which sounds totally lame, but I'm leaving like really early in the morning. I need to get home. Tomorrow is Juliet's MRI. I have to be home tomorrow. Like I have no choice. I need to, like my car better be done because I need to be home tomorrow. Like I was supposed to go home yesterday. And yeah, 4 o'clock tomorrow. How about a lamp sale? Do you provide training for new sellers on how to use the platform? Are you talking like live training or just reseller training? Like what kind of training are you looking for? This is a concert that I attend. To have all sellers on the train, make sure they know who they are. Yes, that is important, Picker Gems. Yes. So one of the guidelines for the train, guidelines that everybody reads, remember you guys said you all read the guidelines, is to know who you are rating next. That's in the guidelines. So make sure if you are in a train, you know who you are rating next. Yeah, put an emoji in front of your question so that I can see your questions, please. You love the tips that people are sharing for quarter for success. Mary made a great video for Niknax. She did. I don't know. Mary, you posted, I think she posted a link in Start Here. It was like guidelines Start Here. Yeah, we can totally do that. Connie Creates. I think that would be fun too. I think that would be really fun. But it's totally up to the person creating it if they want to sell it or not. I mean, we're not going to be like, you have to sell what you've made. Like, it's totally up to the person because I might make this amazing creation to be like, I'm going to save this forever, you know, and then put it on my shelf. I don't know. It depends on how great it is. Yes, we're going to do a weirdo sale in October. I have been saving up my weirdos and I am ready for it. I'm like, oh, look at this weirdo. I'm going to save this. There's a shelf at the shop that just is like weirdos. Yes, correct titles too. That does help. Yeah, in your title, including what you're selling, or you know, if you're part of the train, having the name of the train. I think so. I think Christina and I need in on this. I mean, we need a rematch from that ugly sweater contest. I feel like I need to come back. Are you going to start selling classes for starting a marketplace? Oh, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people realize how much work goes into creating a marketplace. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. I mean, it's rewarding, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I have a great team. I do. I would not be able to do it without my team. Let me tell you. You had an appointment with district. I was like, no. I mean, it's like with anything. You guys know this because a lot of you are resellers. It's like with anything. You get out of it what you put into it. That is the bottom line. And I have put everything into Niknax, and I continue to put everything into Niknax because truth be told, I don't want to be making YouTube videos for the rest of my life. And this is what I want. And so I have put everything into this and I will continue to. Oh, you guys are gonna make me cry. Don't make me cry. I'm really emotional these days. Is there a platform for vintage accessories? Not that I know of. Not that I can recommend. That's my job. I'll write a book. In my spare time, I will write a book. Yes, we do. We do have vintage accessories here on Niknax. I would love to expand that. That's one thing I would love to see for Niknax is we are very successful in jewelry, pottery, glass. We are very successful in those categories. And one thing that I would love to see for Niknax is to start pushing into other areas. I would love to see us pushing out, and start testing other categories and other niches. I think that would be amazing. So, vintage purses, that would be awesome. Oh, yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. Yes, you absolutely can. I wouldn't expect instant success. We're going to have to build that market on Niknax. Find your people. You know what I mean? I know there's probably people here that will be like, "Oh my gosh, purses! This is amazing!" But we're gonna have to find that group of people and get them to you. Why not? Why not? I would love to see some fashion happening here. Is that a train? It's like being at home. I think it might be a train, guys. Yeah, that's a train. I recognize that sound. That's a train. There's a train. Sandy's like, yeah, that's a train. I know. I heard it all night last night. I slept right through it. Obviously, I lived that life for how many years? I'm just like, oh, just like home. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, I didn't even notice. I slept right through it. It's white noise. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Every time I'm having a hard time sleeping, I think what I actually need is like just train sounds playing next to my bed, like a siren and like a train horn and just like, maybe like an accident happening. We had so many accidents out in front of our house. I just sleep right through them and just like, did you hear an accident yet? I'm like, no, I slept right through it. Oh, shoot. Tinfoil. What? Tinfoil. You had 2 bid button auction items. I'm not sure what's going on with that because I was thinking it was fixed. So maybe I'll need to mention something in my meeting today because I've had several bid button issues lately as well. But I know that, so the way it works now is you have to click the button to activate bidding. And then you have to click it again in order to bid. So what I'm thinking is happening is maybe somebody is anticipating that they're going to bid and they're clicking the button, waiting to bid, and then they accidentally hit the button is maybe what's happening. I know it needs a slide button. I know it needs a slide button. I think they're resisting the slide button. I think they're resisting it because it's too much like the other place. I'm like, we need a slide button. My thought was the double tap, like just, double tap it. Oh, man. Andrew's like, I keep saying that. Oh, man. Yes. Yeah. Drafts eventually. I hear it might be happening. Double taps, right? Double taps. Yes, it is a real thing. Yeah. So if you, are in a live sale, if you're having issues, if you notice the seller is having issues, you can shake your phone to report it, and that creates a report within district, and you can like just write, oh, this person is having issues. What about the drafts? Drafts will be a thing in the future. Yes. Giraffes, with the long necks. I know I have a few times. And then I just X out real quickly because I'm like, oops, I hope that I didn't accidentally send a report. Are you going to be able to stop the chat to be able to read it and go back and forth? I'm not sure what you mean, Scottish Ann. Well, you can swipe back and you can swipe it out of the way if you don't want to read the chat. I'm not sure if that's what you mean. So the Android app is available right now for sellers, but not yet for buyers. Oh, they scroll too fast. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure, but that would be awesome. Yep, I know. I would love to be able to like hold them because like even when you guys are like chatting in coffee chat, like they go so fast and sometimes I miss your questions. Yes, they do. Support has, if you go over to the district marketplace, you can suggest features. Oh, I didn't know that. Don't touch chat when co-hosting. You lose visual of the co-host. I did not know that. But then again, I've only co-hosted Christina and Peter. And then Sierra co-hosted me once. There's so many grounds in this coffee. I did not realize that. To interview me for a book? I will check. I have been in the wilderness since Friday. I'm not sure when you sent it, but I have literally been off grid pretty much. That sounds like Duncan. Doesn't work for my Android to get rid of chat. Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything about Android. That's not me. I travel with my Keurig. I travel with my creamer. Grounds activate you faster. Is that how it works? Yeah, counter with a solution, Andrew. For me, it would be like, oh, look at all these sugar packets I have in my... oh, wait, no. I'm driving a loaner car. I have nothing. I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, oh. Like, I need chapstick. I was like, oh, I've got some in my car. I'm like, oh, I don't have my car. Like, but my solution is I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to get some chapstick. But you know what I did remember? I remembered my creamer. So there's the positive. My solution is to go back and throw my coffee. There you go. What kind of creamer do I use? So my recent obsession is the Chobani creamer. I'm so obsessed with it. And if you shake it really good, it like turns frothy and it makes it so good. So what happened with my car? So it started overheating, which is not supposed to happen because it's a 2024. But it started overheating while I was driving it. And so like this big sensor came on and it's like overheating. And I'm like, what is happening right now? And so I had to pull over. Fortunately, I'm out here with Sandy, my flippin' van life. And so we both pulled over and I like waited for it to cool down. And like we went on our way. We were like 15 minutes from a restaurant. So we went out to our restaurant. I'm like, it's just a fluke. And then on the way back, I was on the phone with Andrew and I did it again. And the next morning we're like, let's go to Syracuse, which is like an hour away. And we're like 10 minutes from the Airbnb, and it did it again. And the check engine light came on Sunday. And I was like, maybe we shouldn't go to Syracuse. So we took it to a we took it to a dealership and just dropped it there. And then I went on Monday morning and they like looked it over and they're like, oh, well, it needs 2 parts, but you should be fine driving it home. Like, it should be okay. They're like, well, all the coolant levels are good and everything, so you should be fine. And I called Andrew and I'm like, well, they said I could drive it home and here's a list of the parts. And he called our dealership at home and they were like, they told her to drive it? What? So he's like, do not drive that home. So Andrew called around and found the parts here in New York, and I drove it really, really slow to Geneva. It's a Grand Wagoneer. Yeah. So yeah. And so now it's at the dealership. It is under warranty. Yeah, it's all free. Like, all the work is free. I've got a free loaner. I'm stuck here. Yeah. So, which is not a bad place to be stuck. It's not a bad place to be stuck. So Sandy and I are going to hang out. We're going to have dinner, and then I'm leaving first thing in the morning so that I can go and be home to take Juliet to her MRI. So yeah, but there's places, you know, to go and shop today, so I can still do my job from here. I really miss my family and I want to be home. That's the bottom line. I just want to be home. So, all right. Well, it is 11:30 and we have got to raid. So I'm going to raid over. Thank you, everybody, for being here on the coffee chat. I hope that I was able to clarify some things for you guys and give you guys some answers on things. As always, if you have any more questions, please, you know, there are the FAQs over in the side. Mary is always active there. She can help answer your questions. We have the community chats to answer your questions. We can get your questions answered. I have been kind of like out of ability to like respond and answer questions since Friday. And now I'm just kind of stuck away from home. So I'm kind of like out of the loop. I probably won't be back in the loop until later this week, but I have a wonderful team and they are willing and able to help you guys. So I left Andrew in charge. So if you guys need anything, feel free to use the chat channels. And yeah, I guess I will I'll see you guys later. Yes, it is my brand of coffee. Yes, it is. All right, so let's see. We are going to do a raid. All things vintage. That is where we are raiding over to. So everybody, when we get over to all things vintage, make sure you show some love and support and encouragement and to give a follow. Here we go.